The Silent Hill 2 trailer just came out, and people are doubly convinced it's either really gonna suck or it's really gonna be good. But I actually have something a little more positive to say about this trailer, something that stood out for me. Let's get into it.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities.
What's happening, folks? Big Iron right here, and on the way home from work at about 3 a.m., I get an alert saying, hey, the new trailer for Silent Hill 2's just come out, and it's a story trailer. Now, that's the operative term. This is something I've been looking forward to. I don't care about combat trailers. I don't care about action trailers. I don't care about weapon customization trailers, avatars, PvP trailers. Does not matter to me. What I care about is for that good, old-fashioned down-home storyline. And in this case, it looks like Bloober kind of took a page out of, I don't know, a Stephen King novel or something, because they learned their lesson by the looks of the last trailers. They definitely learned a lesson. We'll kind of just piece by piece this thing, because there's no way I'm going to be able to just start blabbing without some visual aids, you know what I'm saying? So let's take a look at that Silent Hill 2 trailer, and I'll stop accordingly.
James? Honey? Did something happen to you after we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else?
Okay, so right off the bat, we have Maria here, who's talking like Mary and confusing James. Now, in the original Silent Hill 2, as I watched this, I was a kid then, of course, you'll have to excuse me, but as I'm watching, I'm kind of just wondering, is she trapped in the body of Mary? Is Mary her? You know, I feel almost bad as I'm listening to this woman explain to her husband about the time they went to Luca Lake. In this one, I do not get that idea anymore. In this one, she is so stilted and artificial, and this is in no way a slight or of disrespect at all. This is just something I picked up on. She felt formulaic and robotic, as if she was placed there by some unseen force and then told to say these things. Everything that came out of her mouth sounded flat. Listen again.
James? Honey? Did something happen to you after we got separated in that long hallway?
Dude, Maria sounds broken as hell. Rather than just kind of do the whole, ex-stripper thing and just kind of entice them the entire storyline, she literally sounds like there are going to be times when you're talking to her, she's normal Jane, honest civilian in the night kind of bullshit, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, she's just going to turn into a straight drone on you. And this is definitely going to be one of those instances. I like the music composition along with the way she's sitting. Just look at the way she's sitting. Everything about it's not natural, and I think it's supposed to come off as not natural, and I think that's what stops James in his tracks, because he's just like, Maria, what the hell? What are you talking about? And she's just like, hey, remember that one time we did the thing? And he's definitely like, no, I do not. But it works. It works a hell of a lot better, in my opinion, than the initial opening to the original Silent Hill 2. And I know everyone's going to throw tomatoes at me for saying that, but the only reason it works so well is because, unlike Silent Hill 2's remake, I didn't feel bad for Maria at all when I initially played Silent Hill 2. I immediately feel bad. Like, right off rip, I feel bad for her, because whatever she is or whatever put her there, she is definitely there against her will, and it's not working out for her.
You were always so forgetful.
Yep. You heard right. That was Promise. It's been remixed and redone and rearranged by the legendary Akira Yamaoka. I know this because Akira knows this. That, and he left a tweet about it.
Remember that time in the hotel?
Yeah, I don't think I'm a fan of Mary's design. I mean, I have a few questions about Maria's design, but I think Mary's design ultimately leaves a lot to be desired, and I don't mean in a deep-rooted sexual manner. I mean literally like I feel like she got the least amount of attention when it came to her design. And this is, of course, looking at all of the, display they put out, whether it's combat, 20-minute gameplay trailers, whatever the hell. I don't know. I'm just not a fan.
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful.
In my restless dreams, I see that town.
Roll credits.
You promised you'd take me there again someday.
Jesus, can we stop padding the runtime with set pieces and stills we've seen in 1,000 other trailers and stills? Don't get me wrong, they're gorgeous as a still. One photo can tell you a lot about Silent Hill, sure. And the pictures do look good, but they are just absolutely shoving it in this trailer because they did not have much. They did not want to give away a lot of the plot. I know for great certainty they're not going to carbon copy the ending of this game. I know they're not going to. However, that being said, a lot of this stuff is taking a weird angle where they're just like, let's show everyone all the things they remember, save all the things that they do not remember or we just threw in there. And that's fine. That's cool. Just get rid of the set pieces. We've already seen it too many times. I just get bored looking at this part. Great. It's Silent Hill. The streets look nice. Once again. Moving on.
But you never did. Well, I'm alone there now. In our special place.
Just put the gun to their head.
Hold the hell on. Who is this beautiful specimen that just rolled into my trailer for Silent Hill 2? Eddie? Is that you?
You can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
Okay, I'm going to call it before anything happens. Eddie has just won the Blue Ribbon and Best in Show in the Silent Hill circus that is currently going on. I did not expect them to go this direction. The man looks straight unhinged. Everything about him just says he absolutely kills animals, and it shows on his face, and just by the way he collects himself, his vacant stare, the way he grins when essentially James tries to tell him you can't just shoot people for no reason. He looks at him with confusion. And then he laughs afterwards. There is a brokenness to him that I did not see in the other Eddie. The other Eddie had a straight madness face, which was a very generic look. You can't miss it. They just looked like they were going to laugh like the Joker all day and then fight you as some sort of boss character. That was it. But I didn't think much of Eddie as it was. There wasn't anything to it. He just kind of was in the game, and I'm like, okay, this guy's a weirdo, and that's it. I look at this guy, and I'm like, someone needs to be called. He's on a registry. Everything about him right now exudes what this character should have been about. And for that, I applaud Bloober. And this is probably the best move I've seen so far from any of these trailers and promos and ads and anything like that. He looks amazing. It is exactly the way it should have been in the first place. His shirt changed a little bit. I don't know how I feel about that. Cancel the whole game. No, I'm just kidding.
Let go!
I'm sorry, Laura, but I can't let you just run around this place. You might get hurt.
Hurt by what?
A little more Laura action played by Dakota Fanning or whoever. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, we've seen it enough in the intro sequences and their big stream where they revealed like half the storyline. So moving on.
This place is different from what I remember.
You know, it's all fun and games about Angela and everything like that, but man, the fans really, really let Konami have it about how Angela looked. I'm not going to get into it because I personally, is whatever, and they have plenty of time to change it or not change it, so in the end, who cares? But I noticed they barely put her ass in this trailer. They were like, nah, maybe it's best we just leave her at the rest of the game and kind of leave her out of all the hype material, just for the sake of not having someone go, look at her face, and then they Photoshop it 82 times bigger than it actually is, and then they exaggerate their point. You know who you are.
I don't think she's here anymore.
This whole town. Might be best if you just get out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
just another example of all the facial patterns and mannerisms that they jammed into Eddie to just make him this absolute miserable pile of a man. It's amazing, and it's probably the best thing about this trailer. I mean, next to Maria and the way she's sitting and talking like an absolute marionette, which I could go into a theory about that before this game comes out. What do we have, a month left? Month and some change. Something like that. Anyway, I digress.
You said you took everything. But you forgot that videotape we made.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
Now, this right here, and after watching it 1,000 times, I can finally chime in with my opinion here. This right here should have been a point where nothing got entered in, no music, no anything, no interruptions. And it should have had no music to follow her next lines of dialogue, but they chose not to. And instead, they crescendoed with the rest of the soundtrack. And while I love the song, it just didn't belong here. This is some editing critique from a guy who's never made a game in his life. I don't know.
I'm not your Mary.
So you are Maria.
I am. If you want me to be.
There we are. There we have it. That's exactly what I was looking for, and that was the question proposed in my video, does Maria have to show skin? This covered the idea that because she's dressed like April O'Neil from a Ninja Turtles comic, she's going to have to make the sexiness level somewhere chime in, because that's the whole point of her existing in this Silent Hill universe. She's supposed to be the sexual tension and frustration and desire for the husband, blah, 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 blah. You get it. You've heard it 1,000 times for the last 25 years. You'll be fine. However, the part I told y'all in the video was that you would have to find a way to bring that sexiness out without having to deal with the outward stripper / sexual tension shown only in her physical form. I explained that they would have to get far more creative if they were going to push this narrative now that they have covered her up completely. Sort of completely. And it looks like that's what they're aiming for, especially when she goes into marionette mode over here and she says, I can be whatever you want. And my wife is part of the reason and motivation behind this theory ending this way and closing the chapter of my beliefs until I play the damn game, is she literally will have to do that. She will have to say and be anything he wants and just outwardly say that, rather than having just walk around and go, I'm a stripper, look at them titties. It's going to be a little harder, but it's still going to be a little different as well, so we won't necessarily have to deal with the same exact thing.
How do you know about Mary?
I just personally love this scene. It looks gorgeous in 4K or HD or HDR or whatever the hell it is now. Unreal. Anyway, it looks great. I love this scene. I hope it pays off like it did, in the past, but we'll see what they got. I mean, if they're making little changes, I wouldn't mind some changes here. We'll see what they have to throw on the table.
See it too? For me, it's always like this.
Doesn't matter who I am. I am here for you, James.
So at this point, hearing Maria talk a copious amount of times, she comes off as, not only does she know she was designed for him, but she's ready for the job. Before it was, she was almost sentient, created by Silent Hill and the Born from a Wish DLC that you could only find in certain consoles and blah, and blah, and blah. You got to play as her and you found out she was just kind of created out of nowhere, and she just absent-mindedly started looking for a guy named James. In this trailer, it feels more sinister because it feels like she is playing a role or a part that she was given. And I think that gets, dare I say it, I think that makes me very excited for this new Silent Hill, because it looks like they're trying to play her a different way. She's less of a damsel in distress and more along the lines of a moving component in this big machine. She's a pawn that willingly knows she's a pawn. She's like the Ada Wong of Silent Hill. And I think I'm down for that. I don't know. This trailer showed me everything I needed to see, and most importantly, it proved to me that this was the only trailer that needed to happen. All the other ones obviously were Konami produced and shoved out there to get people hyped, and they did it at the wrong times and covered the wrong topics and the wrong subjects. No one cared. No one wanted to see it. But this right here, this I like. This I like.
See?